Get your thrift store bought HP keyboards ready to go on a rant because I invested in Beats Solo3. Yeah, guys. Of course I got them in rose gold. Now, for all you people with OCD looking like, why did you have a rose gold pair in a red case? Well, I also have red ones, so don't worry. So I like listening to music in whatever way I possibly can. Whether it's with Bluetooth headphones or cabled IEMs out of an iPod Shuffle, or even planar magnetic headphones. No, I don't have a pair yet, but there are some on the way. Anyway, my main headphones used to be the Toshiba RZE BT160H, whatever all that gibberish means. But after developing a bit of an audiophile ear, I realized how horrible these Toshibas really are. They don't have very much bass, the mids are kind of muffled, and the top end is all crushed together, so there isn't very much treble at all. In the grand scheme of things, you might be wondering what the heck kind of a solution is buying a pair of Bluetooth on-ears that cost 10 times as much as the Toshibas when I already have AirPods Pro. I mean, we just don't talk about the sound mates because they're awful. Well, first of all, I didn't pay $200 for these because I didn't buy them brand new. I got them used on auction for only $40 each, both of these. They were in separate listings, they weren't in the same one, don't worry. Second of all, I wanted a better set of over-ear or on-ear Bluetooth headphones, which obviously is not what AirPods Pro are. Both of these still have a good battery life, if you're wondering. When I first got these red ones, they lasted over 2 weeks on a single charge with at least a few hours of use every day. These have a battery even better than I would have hoped for. Not sure if they can go half a year on standby and still have over 50% like the Toshiba idiots, but that doesn't really matter to me. With these Beats, first pet peeve of mine is this absolutely awful cheap case that squeezes them together all tightly and squishes the pads up when they're folded up. On the Studio 3, it's a big issue because the ear cups are so big that they already press on the headband when you fold them up, and after a while, there's a permanent indent in the pads. I rarely use the case because I hate what it does to the pads, and I hate that I have to readjust the fit every time I take them back out. How about the build? Well, it's a unique looking design and all, but for all how much these cost brand new, the materials on them are way too cheap. Listen to the sound of this plastic. These hinges click into place when you unfold them, and though the hinges are cleverly made of metal, obviously that'd be the point where they would break easiest, you can hear how cheap that mechanism is. These ear pads are pretty dang uncomfortable. Legit, the one thing on the Toshibas that I actually prefer is these ear pads. I actually prefer them wearing them how the Beats are. I mean, even this headband up here, I mean, it's kind of conventional headband foam. It takes a little bit to spring back out, which is kind of funny, but what this has on the headband is this weird grippy rubber. I mean, it doesn't feel the absolute worst, but I hate how it feels when I'm wearing it around my neck because it grips. Now, the part that you've probably been waiting for. Sound. How do they sound? Way better than these Toshiba stink phones. And let me be honest for a second. I actually prefer to use the Solo3 for music over my AirPods Pro. While the AirPods Pro sound conventionally good and are tuned well, they're kind of boring compared to the Solo 3 because, in my opinion, the Solo 3 are like a party for your ears. They don't have the cool spatial audio feature like the AirPods Pro, but the way they sound is really, really fun. The low and mid bass, no lie, are on par with the Sony WH-1000 XM4s. Not only that, but they have a bigger high bass bump than the Sonys. If you're not a bass head, then you might not enjoy these as much, but these are bassy headphones. After the big bass shelf, they do have a short scoop in the mids, but even though it's noticeably quieter, the mids are still okay. They have better top-end representations than the Beats Solo3 for sure. I quite like how they sound other than the scoop in the mids. If any of you out there have any means of contacting DankPods, let him know that he should have reviewed the Solo 3 or the Solo Pro, which I'm actually going to get a pair of. I might do a review video on those as well. But he should have done these or the Solo Pro instead of the Studio 3, because the Studio 3 sounds awful. So the Solo 3 don't have active noise canceling like their big brother, the Solo Pro. But the battery life on the Solo Pro is about half when that active noise canceling there, but it's still pretty good. I can't say for sure comparing it to the Pro because I haven't tried them, but if I wanted more battery life, the Solo 3 seal noise out passively pretty dang well. It's probably not as good as active noise canceling, but they give me the vibe of putting on kids' hearing protection for the viewing of a demolition derby at the county fair. Nostalgia. If you have them on and you're listening at about 2/3 volume and it has enough going on in the music, you can pretty much cut out the hearing of middle schoolers and idiot teenagers yelling about random crap on your school bus. Just don't play music too loud because Beats tend to noise bleed pretty bad because they've got these vents in the adjustment points. And you also don't want to damage your hearing either. Before we end the video, you gotta hear the microphones. Beats wireless mic versus the wired mic versus the Toshiba wireless mic.
So this one time I was walking on my college campus and I accidentally tripped over myself and my backpack was open and someone came over to check if I was okay. But my 100 phones fell out of my backpack and they completely forgot that they were trying to help me. A bunch of people started rushing over and stealing my phone. So I'm still on the ground. No one came to check on me. And I called the police because a bunch of people were stealing my phones. They arrived on the scene and he just laughed. So I punched him in the face because I was angry because a bunch of people stole my phones and he wasn't doing anything about it. I'm in jail.
So, I'm in jail now, and since I punched the cop, they don't want to feed me any food or water, so I just had to resort to drinking toilet water. It's not bad. But to tell you the truth, I actually got sick from it.
So the Beats wireless mic is pretty bad. The Toshiba mic is definitely worse, but the Beats wired mic is definitely better than both, but there was a lot of background static if you noticed that. I mean, it was pretty noticeable. For a wired mic, it wasn't the greatest, even though it was a lot better than the other two. One more thing that I would like to mention is if I ever use the Toshibas for anything anymore, it's pounding out massive bass at max volume with the Samsung YP-K3. So this thing has an equalizer in it that can pound massive bass out of it, and it can also make your music more 3D. I just use these with it because I don't care if they get damaged by bass, but the left driver has actually come loose from pounding out bass with this because these are put together like junk so badly, and I can't even tolerably use them anymore because the rattling of the driver when I'm pounding bass out is horrible. Now they just sit on my polybook on the floor. Well, that's it. thanks so much for watching, and huge thanks to the people who have subscribed, especially these names right here. I know I don't upload enough, but I could use all the support that I can get, and I can't thank you enough. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.